Good morning, hello, and happy Monday. Let's see, I think this is all set up. I think this is better for the position. Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit louder. All right, how was all of yours weekends? Hopefully pretty good. I'm super happy that we finished getting through, what was it yesterday? The GraphQL stuff with Axum, and then we sort of took a look into Sec and for a logging system that seemed to work just fine. For a personal license, it's not too expensive, just for our own stuff. And self-hosting it is fine too. I did want to take a look at Sentry because as I was sort of looking through that as a sort of comparison to what else was around, plus also I have an account on it. I noticed that they say that they have a Rust crate, and that it's official and that you can use it. And I was thinking, well, maybe we should check that out and see if it actually sends data up to our app. So what I'm gonna do, because I don't know how much Sentry is going to just expose personal data when I send this from my own computer, I am gonna load that up on another browser here. I'm gonna log in there. I'm gonna create an application. Their UI is really busy, so sometimes it's hard for me to tell. I don't think there's anything. Okay, so I guess it's projects. Oh, I have one project. Okay. I have one project. So if I go into that, and I think in Sentry on the free account, which I am, you only get one project, maybe three at most. And it's very limited. And then it becomes pretty expensive pretty quickly once you start paying for them. But I guess the idea is that it's supposed to be for businesses. How do I set up, and where's their instructions? Let's go open up Firefox here. I want Sentry, just do Sentry Rust. Okay, so I have the account. I'm not using Actix Web as the framework, so that's going to be interesting. But I think supposedly it shouldn't matter. Okay, so install. To add Sentry to your Rust project, we just add, well, it's just called Sentry, okay? Easy enough. Let's go ahead and get that going for us. No, not right now. Let's see how far behind they are on their docs. So they're at 0.25.0 here. Oh, they're exactly the same. So either they haven't updated in a while, or they're keeping their docs up to date, or at least the dependencies in the docs. The most convenient way to use this library is the Sentry init function, which starts a Sentry client with the default set of integrations and binds it to the current hub. The Sentry init function returns a guard that, when dropped, will flush events that were not yet sent to the Sentry service. It has a 2-second deadline for this, so shutdown of applications might slightly delay as a result. Keeping the guard around or sending events will not work. Okay, so we're going to here. Let's see. Guard Sentry init, and then we're gonna give it the ingest URL. So I need to figure out what that is. Okay, it's settings, projects, client keys. Oh, and then in the project, I have the security token header, security token. Oh, let me add another. Oh, I changed language here, maybe. Rust. Okay, maybe that doesn't give it to me. Okay. This project settings, but that doesn't give me the ingest URL. Okay, so data source name. Okay, so let's see. Let's go back to settings. Projects. It's the only project I have, and then client keys. Oh, there it is at the very bottom. Okay, so I have the DSN, tells the SDK where to send the events. Okay, so what I can do, I take this down here and add this to our environment variables. So this is gonna be Sentry URI. Now I'm assuming that we need to keep this in like main is where we're gonna put this. Because I'm just gonna keep this. Okay, so guard is. Okay. Oh, so I need to get that URL first. So that Sentry URI equals dot env. I guess I'll just use it first while I'm waiting for Rust Analyzer to catch up. Okay, so we called this the Sentry URI. Where do I get that from? Oh, it's from .env codegen. That's what it is. Okay, that one. Okay, now we have our Sentry URI. URI, so then we want to do let. Okay, so let guard equals sentry init. It looks like we also need sentry client options. I guess one thing at a time, right? Oh, look at that. Okay, so it takes a tuple with a URI. Okay, so an options C, which goes into client options. Okay, so I can get away with just a string like that. Now you're suggesting a tuple with the URL. And then Sentry client options, release, and then the release name. Okay, I'm gonna start with just this. That should give me the rest of them default anyways. Verify setup. The quickest way to verify setting a REST application is to cause a panic. Okay, so in guard. Okay, so let's actually cause a panic. Let's create a panic route. I wonder if that will work if I actually do like a real panic. Actually, their suggestion, maybe we'll just do it the same way. We'll just do a straight up panic here, and we'll just say panicking early or Sentry. And that's it. Okay. So I should be able to cargo watch run this. Okay, so that caused the panic. Did I see that here in Sentry? Oh, I see a panic. Okay. Panicking early for Sentry. Okay, unhandled. I see the event. Okay. Okay, so I see the event. Tells me that, okay, it was on a MacBook. Development. Let's see, over there, seconds ago, no release. tags. Okay, that's all good. Tells me that it was on. Okay, it tells me in Tokyo. It gives me a backtrace. Okay, nice. Tells me that it was not handled. I'm not necessarily seeing anything too dangerous on here for me to show off. So this is what I got. Basically, it actually shows me the stack trace, which is really cool. I like that. So now I want to cause a problem, like a more realistic problem. So if I don't panic here, let's say that I panic in one of the routes. So I don't think I'll take anything in. We'll return an impl into response. Okay, so if I just simply panic here, okay, so panic in the route, we are going to use that down here. Okay, so this should be running at localhost port 8000. It's a get, which means that I should be able to just load up Thunder Client and do a get request to localhost 8000/panic. Okay, connection was forcibly closed. So did I even get a 500? I don't even think I got a 500 back. It just went down and closed that connection hard. Now, do I see that in here? So back to issues. Okay, so I see a second panic here. They're both labeled just panic. Oh, but panic en route. Okay. So if I go in, crashed in non-app standard. Let's see, a backtrace. Sentry.rs line 4. I mean, I'm able to see that. Okay, that's pretty good. Such a long backtrace too. It's pretty much the only thing that's really useful here for that. Okay, so that's good. Next up, can I have a handled error but log that out? So this would be for like error logging as opposed to just like normal logging. But can I have like an error and then handle it and send that out? Let's head back into here. So if I were to do something like I want a HTTP response or codes. Oh, what is it called? I thought it was under HTTP codes. It's like from request, right? So I can use request response. Oh, fine. I'll go look at one of these other ones. Status code. Status code. One of these days I'll remember exactly what it is. Okay, so status code, it is under request. Let's do some kind of error here. We'll do internal server error. That's a nice 500. Now, just returning this, I doubt is going to send a response to Sentry, but let's find out. So if I send you, we got a 500 internal server error. Yeah, I did not get a third item here. So I'm just going to go ahead and resolve these two. Okay, so can I actually tell it before I send this, hey, like something's happening here, which means, nope, I want main. Do I need this guard? So, okay, I can do a capture event. Descend flush into options. Okay, I can use instrument here. I bet it would be capture event. So capture event, the event, and then the scope. So do I need to pass this just all around them? I'm not exactly sure how that would work, or where I would put this Sentry in it, unless I would put it like everywhere. Let's go and take a look at how you would integrate it in. So they do have their crates.io page. Okay, they have some features. Oh, so request is on here. Hyper's not on here. Okay, so backtrace enables backtrace support. Okay, so interesting, but that's not really helpful. I guess like there's these integrations and apply defaults. We can go take a look at these. Now integrations, I think they only have integrations which are event sources, such as Sentry integrations anyhow, typically provide one or more functions to create new events. These integrations will have an extension trait which exposes a new method on the hub. Integrations with process events in some way usually implement the integration trait and need to be installed when Sentry is initialized. Okay, so they have this anyhow backtrace context. So they have all of these. Now I don't necessarily have anything. So I want to like just have some kind of failure but handle it. But I wonder if that's the anyhow trait then. It does not need to be enabled in the call to Sentry init. This integration does not need to be installed. Instead, it provides an extra function to capture anyhow error. So if I return an anyhow result, which I can't remember if error is anyhow, like uses anyhow behind the scenes, it might. Okay, so Sentry anyhow, capture anyhow. So if let error, then we send, okay, so we send this to Sentry. Okay, interesting. So what that might be like is not doing this. In Sentry here, I would potentially be creating another function. So function that errors. We're going to return a result. The result doesn't care about anything. Now I'm curious, like, will this work with just, a normal error result? So I'm going to bail and just say I am failing. So I want to call this now. So if let error. So we call you, we capture you. I now want to add the feature anyhow. And so that's going to give us a Sentry anyhow, capture anyhow. Do I need to install Sentry anyhow? This under Sentry create, I kind of it kind of feels like I need to, but that's just from this use statement. I don't know. Maybe it will re-export it. Okay, recompile is done. Waiting on Rust Analyzer now. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna do a capture anyhow. Oh, there it is. Okay, we have capture error, capture event, and capture message. Okay, so we're gonna try capture anyhow. Aha, okay, so it's Sentry integrations anyhow, capture anyhow. And then a reference to the error, like that. And let's... Yeah, so you're going to be upset because it's not an anyhow error as opposed to an error report. Okay, so I need to pull in anyhow and use that instead, which that should be fine. So cargo, let's bring in anyhow. And I think anyhow has a bail also, so we're going to get rid of that one as well. Okay, we're going to use the anyhow. We're going to use the anyhow result. You're upset. Well, wait a second. Then we're going to use the anyhow. Come on, bail. Okay, so you're happy here. Okay, everybody's happy now. So now if I hit this, we still get a 500 internal server error there. But down here, if I hit refresh, okay, it took a little bit of time, but it showed up. Okay, so now I have the I am bailing error. Oh, but something that's really interesting. No additional details available. The backtrace is not present. That is that's not helpful. So I just got the I am bailing. Okay. I want to try some of those other captures because we have there was one of those. So we have this. Okay, so we're even if I stay with a bail, actually, is there anything in documentation for capturing the Oh, okay. Here's the capture error. The backtrace feature will enable the corresponding feature in anyhow and allow you to capture backtraces with your events. But it is enabled by default. Okay. If that's enabled by default, okay, so maybe I have to actually return a real error as opposed to a bail. So let's try a different one. So function with real error with anyhow error. Okay, so it's just calling the anyhow macro. And we're going to return that. Okay. I should be getting an anyhow error in here. I'm still getting the I am bailing error though. Although I got 2 events. Oh, I see now. Okay. I actually did get it, but it got put under the same catalog as it. So on the front page, I still see the I am bailing. But then when I go into it, I see the I am erroring with anyhow. Okay, so that's new. However, stack trace is still unknown and not available, which is unfortunate. Now that's interesting. So it says it's grouped by exception stack trace, but I don't see that. Okay, what else do we have in here? So we have the Sentry integrations. Anyhow, backtrace, context, or panic. Oh, but these are going to be just sort of like handling that. Okay, never mind. We have capture anyhow. How is there like just a capture? Okay, there's a capture error and a capture message. Okay, so if I do capture error, The trait bound anyhow error standard error is not satisfied. The trait standard error is not implemented for anyhow error. Can I like convert it into that? Type annotations needed. Okay, so it doesn't, no. So if I use standard error, I mean, so technically this would work. I would then get all of these errors. They would show up here. What are some other things that I can do to this? Because like, even if I don't get a stack trace, if I were to make sure that the naming of things was really good, I could potentially put, the right information that I need to like then find it in the code base. So you don't like that at all. That's fine. There was the capture anyhow, capture error, capture event, and capture message. So if I just capture a message, that's just a stir and a message. So I can just say had an error running the function always errors. And then we have a level. So I can do Sentry level debug error, fatal, info, or warning. Okay. So if I do debug that. Okay. I have two events in here right now that we can see with this. So if I hit you again, oh, it's a completely different one now. Okay, so had an error running a function, always errors. We come into here. Then they just get to see that information. Okay, nice. I mean, obviously with something like this, it's not going to give a stack trace because this is just a message. Okay, and this one is grouped by message. So I guess Sentry can be used for these informational messaging also. Let's say I want to have, like, it's under development right now. It's under development. Yeah, environment is development. How would I change the environment? My guess is the init function has something that lets me do that. Okay, so we need client options. There's 25 fields that we can choose here. Okay, so we have the DSN to use. What the release would be. the environment set to be sent with events. Defaults to either development or production, depending upon the debug assertions. So theoretically, I could say like testing. So like under CI, it would be testing, development on our local systems, and then once it's actually deployed, that would then be production. And then I could configure Sentry to only send me information if it is in production. If it's like in development, I probably don't care that much about it. Maybe even just ignore it completely. But CI, I want to see too. Okay, and because it's kind of like a builder because it has all those options in it, so we can just set the ones we want to send. I'm really curious. What is the option? Okay, so do they implement default themselves for client options? In debug mode, information is printed to standard error to help you understand what Sentry is doing. When the log feature is enabled, Sentry will instead log to the Sentry logger independently of this flag in the debug level. Oh, that's nice. So in a release, then we can just say like, hey, this is release like v1.0.3. And so it can know like, hey, you just did a new release. Okay, that's great. That's good to know. It'll try to figure out if it's development or production based upon the debug assertions config attribute, which I don't think I've ever set up. So it'd probably just be development for everything. Okay, this format default. Okay, impl default. So they are manually implementing default for this. So we can see debug is false, release none, environment none, sample rate is 1. Attach stack trace is false by default. Okay, also nice that they don't put in PII. So I would need to implement. Okay, so if I create these client options, they have like a. How do they? I guess if I create a client options, there's so much default in it. I could just create a default one and then update it. So let's try doing that and then telling it. Let's see, where is it? Attach stack trace. True. And then maybe that will like add a stack trace to those other errors that we weren't getting a stack trace before for. So back to you. in main, we're going to create an option here. Now you are just a Boolean, so we're gonna switch you to true. Now, we can set the whatever it's called, the URL thing. So Sentry options dot DSN, that's what it is. So DSN equals yew.rs option. Oh, type DSN. Okay, so you're going to be some DSN. Oh, interesting. Okay. How do I, what other options do I have to like set this up? Okay, I see what you're doing. You're doing Sentry client options. You set this like this, and then the rest default. Okay, easy enough. So actually, I don't need to do this. We're gonna do a tuple where we give the Sentry URI, and then it's it figures it out. So tuple with the DSN, and then client options with the default, rest of the default client options in here. Okay. So Sentry client options. I want to grab the stack trace, true, and then we want default. Okay, so with nothing else changed, when I come back to here, I'm going to resolve everything in my issues here. Okay, resolve all those. So now they should show up back again once this happens. So I send you. No additional details. Okay, so that did not send an additional stack trace, which is really unfortunate. So benefits of using something like Sentry here is I don't have to remember to capture all the errors myself and then push them to a log. Instead, all I have to do is just install Sentry, and if there is a crash or a panic or anything else, they get logged out, which is really nice. Let's go take a look at what do I actually get in my free account. Usage and billing, maybe? So like I'm on the developer plan, so I get 5,000 errors, 10,000 transactions, 1 gigabyte worth of attachments. Okay. Now I don't even have a credit card on file with them, so like they can't charge me. I literally don't have a normal subscription account. It's there's no like, the free tier is just basically create an account and then don't yet pay them. Is there a limit to the number of projects? I really kind of wish that they would have a comparison like most apps do, where you can just say, hey, I get this is like what you get. Right now I see that, but only for the paid accounts. So business, $89 per month. Definitely for businesses. Team, $29 per month. Still too expensive for me. Unlimited members, that's fine. Third-party integrations and metric alerts. Doesn't tell me anything about number of projects that I can have. Okay, let me go into the project section. If I try to create another project, that seems to be fine. Okay, so that was the back end. Let's say I wanted to create one for the front end too. So I want... I mean, obvious, kind of not surprised that they don't have a U for that yet. Yeah, there's nothing here for Sentry topic, Sentry, and then you on top of that. Okay. Now, do they just have like plain... Okay, so they have a plain JavaScript one. How would I send it to them without anything? Well, I guess, okay. First question. In Rust. So let's say, hey, I want to create a new project. It's going to be a Rust project. I'll set up my alerts later. So this one is going to be you. Okay, for that team project. So we're going to add in Sentry to here. Oh, I know what I need to do. I need to... You come back down here. I need to go find what my ingest URL is. Is that actually the ingest URL that they set up and put in there? That might be. Just not great. But okay. I need for this one, I want to set that up. In a .env. So we're going to do this as Sentry URI equals that. And run start. Okay, and our not trunk to TOML, cargo to TOML, we're gonna open up, we're gonna put in Sentry, and we're gonna see whether or not this can work in a front-end project. I really doubt that they have this set up to work with WebAssembly. Oh yeah, tons of errors happening. Okay, so they're using get random. We may need to enable the JS crate. Okay, so yeah, the Sentry crate will not work with WebAssembly. So all front end stuff, Sentry is not going to work for us unless they have documentation on how to send issues. Let's go to full documentation. How to send issues just straight up through a message, an HTTP message. It's not going to work. So use to set up. Okay, so we have Rust here. I want literally like just HTTP, like none at all. But I don't even see that. Okay, API. Interesting that they use APIs with basic auth where the password is an empty value. That feels a little bit weird, but okay. Okay, now I want to create a new issue. So I want to modify an issue. I want to create an issue. Maybe that'd be under projects. I'm not seeing that. Okay, let's try this. I'm gonna create a new event. I'm not seeing it easily from here. How about create? I mean, I can use their API to like create a project, but that's not really one. Issue. Submit user feedback. I guess the closest thing to this would be bulk mutate. And does it do an upsert? Okay, so I can do a post. Okay, so they're showing like a curl to projects to something like this. Create an external issue. Okay, so curl to this external issues. I get this response back. No, the idea of the Sentry issue to link the external issue too, so that doesn't work. Ooh, okay, so I'm sort of feeling that like Sentry is really nice for backend work. So if you're using Axum or if you're using, what is it called? Actix Web, probably even Rocket, and any kind of backend thing, maybe even not like web apps, just any apps. Sentry could be really good because it can send all this information out. This could also be really interesting to use with IoT devices. So if the IoT device is connected to the internet, you could potentially have it logged to Sentry when there's an error. So if you have like, 3 or 4 or 5 hanging around your house or something like that, you can have it tell you whenever there's errors, and you don't have to set up manual logging to like send those out. If there's a panic, it figures it out. You do have to send it to resolve it if you don't want it to just crash. But that's also fine. Like either way, you're going to get the information. Safi, hello. Safi. Sorry about the horrific mispronunciation. But then when it comes to front end, I can't easily find. Oh, don't worry about that. It's not even like hard compared to other people. I'm just like terrible at pronouncing names today, apparently. What's like I guess like they really want you to use their APIs because they don't have like. I'm pretty sure that if I really wanted to, I could figure it out. But I would rather use a service that just puts it out there really quickly and like upfront. Here's how to send it without using our API. You don't know how to pronounce it though? Well then I guess did I mispronounce it if you don't know how to pronounce it? Maybe haven't chosen how yet. Using one of these is great, including the Rust one. It seems to be really nice. But that's all neither here nor there. So I think what we can do is I think we can just say like, okay, this is a great idea. Unfortunately, it's not. It won't work for us because it won't work with WebAssembly, which is a little bit too bad, but totally understandable. So that being said, how would I guess like there's really nothing else to sort of go over here. We even looked for it on GitHub and we didn't see it under construction. So potentially someday it'll be here. All right. Well, That being said, I don't really think that there's anything else for me to look into here. Let me look at what my upcoming investigations are going to be. So research. Okay. So I want to connect Hasura to Auth0. The idea there being I want to be able to get like a token from Auth0 and then lock down Hasura. So that way, if I am going to be sending some kind of request from the front end directly to Hasura, I don't want like just be able to get anything. Like read-only stuff for certain things. We'll have to figure some stuff out. Hasura does have good documentation on how to do this. The wrong computer. So if we go to Hasura 0. They have this entire like here's how to do it. Now I spent a little bit of time with this the other day and I was able to figure out they call them rules and they still have rules in Auth0, but Auth0 is now recommending that you use something called actions, which sits in between. They actually has debuggable, it's debuggable. It's a little bit easier to use, but not as good documentation because it's a newer system. But they you go to rules and it's like, hey, we recommend you use actions instead. It's just, you're going to be happier all around. So we're going to try to set up an action for this. And see if we get this all set up. Now, because that it's not going to be 100% exactly like this, but it shouldn't be that far off. So that is going to be coming up starting tomorrow, and then we'll see how far we get with that. Might be another one of those couple days, take it figured out. We're getting to the point where we can start actually setting up things. I think for right now, I'll probably stay with sec. Because that's gonna work. We know it's gonna work. We just send HTTP request there and we'll be fine. So with that, thank you everybody for hanging out with me today. I know this week is probably more of a boring week because we're just doing investigations into auth and logging, but we're gonna be getting into project setup probably starting Sunday, and that will be the go time for the real project. So with that, I will see you next time, whenever that is. Have a great rest of your day, and that's it. Bye.